Hi, friends. I'm Phoebe.
I'm Keiara.
This is the I Don't Want to Make This Too Long podcast.
The podcast for girlies that like to gossip via 20-minute voice messages to their besties.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. How are we feeling on this fine Friday? Tuesday for the listeners, but Friday.
For us, we're recording on Friday. Fun Friday. It's the sun is shining. The tank is clean. The tank is clean.
What is it? 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney?
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Way.
There it is. Okay.
That's
no relevance to our topic today, but important we said that.
I mean, yeah. Finding Nemo references will always be necessary, no matter what.
And that's a hot take.
Ain't nothing hot about it. Everyone agrees.
And that's what the people are saying.
That's what the girls are saying.
Oh, shit.
But yes, so today we are switching gears once again. I
have the giggles. I'm sorry.
I think I broke Phoebe with my Finding Nemo reference.
Okay, I'm crying. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay to... Baby, that's okay.
And baby, that's okay.
That's okay. You don't have to be okay all the time. You know, that was me talking to myself this morning.
It's okay to not be okay. And that's a PSA.
A PSA for everyone that is going through something right now. It's okay to just be like, you know what? Fuck this.
I'm out.
I'm out. I'm out. Gone. Anyways, today we decided to talk a little bit about our past, our present, and our future, in a sense.
Indeed. We were going to be talking about what we do currently, but more importantly, what we wanted to do when we were kids. And if we could be anything you want in the world, what would you be?
Oh my God, I love this question. I think if you get the TikTok reference, then good for you. Anyway, yeah, so what we wanted to do when we were kids, what we currently do now, and if there's any correlation whatsoever, and what crazy job we want to have if we could do anything. So what about you? Well, first of all, I feel like we met during the time when we were kind of going through that phase of like, I want to be this, I want to be that.
Yeah.
What was your dream when you were like?
Well, we met when I was 7 and you were 8, about to turn 9, and I feel like that's the age that you kind of transition from childlike things to more realistic things, I guess. So of course, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a princess. Duh. But then when we met, I had just made the decision in my 7-year-old brain that I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to animate for Disney. And of course, that also was the time when movies stopped being animated and turned more digital and more like computer animated. So that dream was very short-lived. And then also, I quickly wanted to become a fashion designer. And that's what I wanted to be for the majority of my childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what about you?
First of all, before I say mine, that's really impressive to want to be an animator at like 7 years old.
I know. Like, why?
What the fuck?
Of all things.
I want to be a dinosaur. I want to be a Disney animator.
Grow up.
Grow up.
Smoking a candy cigarette. Yeah, I want to be an animator. A dinosaur, that's cute.
That's cute. I'll animate it for you. Yeah.
I'll conceptualize your costume for you.
You're being called to come inside for your like afternoon nap.
That is so second grade.
Oh, wow.
Literally second grade being 7.
Okay, yeah. For me, I went through so many like identity crisis. Like I wanted to be so many things. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be a gymnast, a figure skater, and a writer. Like I knew I wanted to be a writer for a really long time, but I was obviously, if you couldn't tell, I'm very skinny, I'm very small, I'm very nimble. And I used to flip around all the time. I was determined to be a gymnast. I genuinely did think I was gonna be that.
Yeah.
Especially during that time when we were neighbors. A lot of my friends from school were really into like gymnastics and cheerleading and figure skating. And so that was like the thing that I would study and I would practice at. And, you know, I took like one class for gymnastics and I couldn't afford to keep going. So that dream kind of died pretty quickly. And then by the time I was in middle school, I had like severe scoliosis. So I couldn't continue anyway. But yeah, like those were like the main things. Like I really wanted to do something in the vein of like entertainment or sports, which is just crazy. But yeah, that all of that kind of didn't really happen.
I feel like when we were kids, like living next door to each other, those were very formative years for a couple reasons. But I feel like when I made the transition to be a fashion designer and not an animator, it was like the same time as you when you were kind of figuring out what you wanted to do. And I think, like, I mean, we have a whole other episode we're going to talk about this, but I feel like we explored a lot of those things when we played with Bratz and Barbies and Mycene dolls and whatever. But like, I wanted to be a fashion designer so bad because I was obsessed with their clothes.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll get into it in another episode, but like, I'll never understand the discourse around Bratz from a parent's perspective from when we were kids. Like, they were too slutty and too this and too that. They were serving and you're mad about it. Yeah, so we would play with dolls. We'd make them do like gymnastic performances. We'd make them have rock concerts and be pop stars and whatever. And I remember I had this thing called the fashion files. It was literally a manila folder of all my like fashion sketches.
Wow.
Not a single one was good. Not a single one was good.
I highly doubt that because she's an amazing artist. Like
an artiste.
She's an artiste. Like she can draw very, very well. And so I don't believe for a second that those sketches were bad. They were probably for her age. Like if we saw them, they were probably really fucking good.
For my age, I guess.
For your age, for how young you were, I'm sure they were excellent.
But you ended on, by middle school, you had kind of given up the gymnastics vein of what you wanted to do. So let's get into what we wanted to do in middle school, because I feel like middle school and high school things obviously change, and then we could go into what we do now. But in middle school, what did you want to do?
In middle school, it was kind of the same. I feel like I still wanted to do like performance. Like I really did want to get into like musical theater and like acting and all of that. I feel like that really came to the forefront when I was transitioning from middle school to high school. Because in middle school, like we would do like these silly little like dance performances and all that. And I hated doing that. Like I don't know if it was like the teacher or the people involved, but like I've always been ironically painfully shy. Like I hated performing in front of family members, even friends, like with the exception of you and like the kids we used to hang out with.
Yeah.
But
shout out Chelsea, shout out Christy.
yeah, shout out you guys.
You girly pops will never find this, but if you do, hey.
Hope you're doing well. But yeah, like I had always been painfully shy, but by the time I got to high school and I was figuring out where I wanted to go for high school, I was like, I need to go somewhere that has like a really good theater program because I want to do theater. And that's what I thought was going to be my life when I was going to high school. It was like, I want to be doing live theater. I want to act. Like, that's what I want to do. And that's still true today. But that was like the main thing. I had pretty much given up everything else, except for actually being a writer. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to write. So that was like where my head was probably the whole time that I was in high school.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing.
I feel like that's something also that we both went through at the same time, because I remember I read Twilight first. And then I don't know if you had read something else or whatever, but I remember I let you borrow my copy of Twilight. And that's when we both started reading a lot, like frantically just burning through books quickly. But that was around the same time that we both explored writing, and not just like, for school or whatever, but like creative writing.
Yeah.
So same, like when I was in middle school, I had made again the transition of like kind of giving up being a fashion designer and doing something more, dare I say, emo, because this was the beginning of the emo phase. 5th grade, I discovered My Chemical Romance, and it was over for you bitches. It was over. And I served my colonial low ponytail every day with my fishnet gloves and my Chemical Romance shirts. But I started writing, and same, all of middle school, I just wanted to be a writer. That was it. My colonial ponytail and me against the world.
I feel like I went as seen as I could afford to go. In middle school, I completely forget about those years of like the emo phase, even though I was very much listening to that music, and like from the moment you and I met, like our music tastes were very similar.
Yeah.
But I feel like the most that I did when I was going to school in LA was like I would buy like one like little fishnet thing from Hot Topic, and I'll never forget, I was so proud because I could afford to get like 2 little hot pink hair clips, just clipping my hair, and a side bang, and that was the most that I could do, and that's what I did. The bayang with the pink, hot pink hair stripe.
Yep.
That was like it for me, because the school that I went to during that time, I had to wear a uniform. So there was no room for exploration with fashion.
That's kind of a good thing, because I look back at some shit I wore in middle school and I'm like, yeah, why? Yeah, what's that about?
Who will allow this to happen?
Hey.
We were our parents were pretty lenient with us, I think, when it came to our fashion choices. But
I mean, I feel like they were lenient with us about a lot of stuff, but that's mostly because we didn't give them a reason to be strict.
Yeah.
I mean, some parents are just strict. My parents were still strict, but they weren't as strict in a lot of cases. And I feel like yours weren't either, because we weren't really doing anything. We'd hang out at my house or in our respective houses and read or write or listen to music or like sneak time on MySpace or Tumblr. Like we didn't do anything in middle school, really. So
yeah, we were pretty tame. We were weird, but we weren't doing anything bad. Like
we were little weirdos, but
we were weird, but we were like imaginative. Like we were just very
we were cute. We were little kids.
Yeah, we were kids. Like we grew up during a time when like being a kid was literally being like we didn't have like a lot of options but to be kids. Like we were playing in makeup and stuff, but it was like Claire's makeup,
oh my God, yeah.
Or it was like the 1 or 2 things we could get from Sephora, like a lip gloss or something. Like
my first makeup product ever was an eyeliner, and my mom like was very I mean, I look back and I think she just didn't want me to be embarrassed. But at the time, she was very like, you shouldn't wear a lot of that. And I was like, fuck you, mom. And I just like rubbed it all over my eyes. Like, what was I doing? But yes, we were very much kids. And we played with dolls until we were like 12.
We played with dolls until like we were kind of side-eyeing ourselves. Like, like we're getting a little old. But like, I can say for myself, I didn't want to stop playing with dolls. I did not want to. Like, I wish, like, it killed me so much that, like, we were getting older and it just wasn't, like, socially acceptable anymore to, like, play with dolls in the way that we were playing with them.
It fucking pains me.
Yeah, like, because I tried to keep my dolls for a long time. I don't know where the fuck they are anymore. That breaks my heart to this day. I think someone threw them away, to be honest. But now that I see like what's on the market now, like I'm obsessed with the rainbow high dolls.
I know.
If I could go back and like make myself a kid again just so I can play with them, like I would. I mean, yeah, there's technically nothing stopping me or anyone else from playing with dolls as an adult, right? But it's just not the same. It's not the same. And it's like, it feels a little weird, but yeah, like we kind of, that's what we were on. You know, we were just kids playing with dolls, you know, sneaking cuss words. And like, you know, it wasn't like being an adult or doing adult things wasn't like, we weren't dying to do it. Like, we weren't dying to like go out.
We went to the mall. That was the extent of us going out. Or like we'd go to shows, but like, I mean, this is another episode too, if we want to talk about it, but like my parents were very involved in what we both liked. So like when we went to concerts as kids, my parents wanted to go to. So it wasn't even just being chaperoned. It was like, oh, like I'll buy you guys tickets and I'll buy myself one because I want to see this band or whatever. So like we were just super creative, imaginative kids.
Yeah.
And it's interesting now that we're talking about this and we're talking about all the things we wanted to do, and obviously we're going to keep going, but like it's just interesting to see that everything we wanted to do is creative in some way. And even though we had to painfully stop playing with dolls, like we continued making up stories in different ways. Like I'm kind of thinking about it for the first time now. Like we both started writing around the time we had overlap where like we kind of unconsciously knew like we're gonna have to give this up. And we started creating stories in other ways. Which is so interesting. I kind of love that for us.
That's incredible. But yeah, it's true. There was a lot of, you know, beautiful transitioning, but painful transitioning. And like, you know, it's amazing that we kind of were able to stay true to who we were and like our interests. And we never really let outside things influence our, you know, our thinking or what we wanted to do. And I don't know, am I doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do in middle school? No. I
veto that. I think you are doing some of it.
I'm doing some of it. I'm not doing it on the scale that I wish I was doing it, but you know, I didn't do any theater beyond high school. But that's, you know, that's on me. Like I never really tried, I guess. I did like one thing of background work and that was really it. Like I haven't acted in anything aside from that. So long story, but like there's just a lot of factors. Like getting into the industry is not as easy as some people make it seem, you know, with like, oh, you get headshots and you audition and like whatever. Like it's not easy. It's like a lot of these like not agencies, but a lot of these websites and things where you go to like get into background work or act, like some of them you have to pay for. And it's like,
Is that what you wanted to do in high school? Like, did you make up your mind that you wanted to act in high school?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, most definitely. I wanted to do it so bad, but it just didn't happen.
Mhm.
And things are expensive. Like I didn't really have like a ton of support like when it came to that. Not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't have anyone that I could be like, hey, can you go take me to get these $200 headshots? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know anyone at the time that was like taking pictures until later on, like when I was going out of high school. Like my friend from high school, Emily, like she was getting into photography and like, you know, she took a couple pictures of me, but like nothing ever concretized itself within that for me.
Right.
But throughout high school, I started writing, and then by the time I was like 17 or 18, yeah, when I was 18, I started writing my first book.
Mm-hmm.
And it took years after that to like solidify the story and whatever. But like, 5 years later, I finished it. So I did that. But again, yes, I am doing some of the things that I dreamed of doing, but like not on the scale that I wish, because there's, writing a book takes time. And if you're somebody that just has all the time to just sit and write, amazing. But it took me 5 years to write my first book, and it's this big.
But you still did it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something your high school self wanted you to do. So
And
that's
I did.
impressive that you
Thank
were
you.
able to do that.
Yeah. What about you? I mean, I feel like you've kind of pivoted from what you wanted to do.
I know. I mean, so in middle school, I had wanted to be a writer. And then by the time I got to high school, I think I did something that every kid does, where I just had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I had kind of gotten talked out of wanting to do anything creative by like all of the powers that be in school, like just getting looked down on for wanting to be an artist or a writer or any of that dumb shit. So in freshman year, I decided I was going to be a psychologist, which I had no interest in doing. I thought it was kind of cool because, hey, backstory. My 6th grade teacher called my parents because she was concerned because I wrote my research paper on a mystery about the Zodiac killer. So in freshman year, I very much was a fucking freak and was like, well, I'll be a psychologist because I think murderers are interesting.
Which like is a huge thing now.
It is.
Everybody
it absolutely is.
is. How many people have we heard who like go into the career of like interviewing
Murderers
for this exact purpose of like the psychology of it.
So, but at that time also, another bit of backstory, when you were a kid and you were going to gymnastics, you also went to ballet / tap dance for about a month or so.
Yeah.
And I, being my codependent self, I was like, well, I'll go with you too. I think I went to 2 classes, maybe 1. I really don't remember. But I can't dance at all. I can't. So in my freshman year, they put me in dance as my elective. And I just drew the line in the sand and I was like, I absolutely will not do dance. You can put me in any other elective. I'm not doing this. And they said the only options we have are yearbook and graphic design, which I wanted to do yearbook actually. But I think they said that like photography was like a prerequisite or something, which like didn't know there was prerequisites in high school.
Yeah.
But I picked graphic design, and that's what as soon as I started doing it, I knew that's what I wanted to do. Because it kind of encompassed everything. It encompassed art and drawing, writing, photography, because at the time Tumblr was popping off and everyone thought they were a photographer.
Yeah.
So yeah, from 14 on, I knew I wanted to be a graphic designer, and I'm 27 now. So I've been doing that for half of my life now, which is weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically from the beginning of high school, that's what I knew I was going to do. And I decided that's what I was going to do. And yeah, I had made the the peace. I had made peace within myself that I was going to go into a lot of student loan debt because that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So,
and she's doing it, and she's doing it well, and she's got a career. She's a career woman.
I am a career woman, but that's a perfect segue into what we do now. Yeah. And you just said it. I'm still doing graphic design. It is competitive, but it is rewarding. I'm not going to say where I work, but I do work somewhere that I really love working, finally, because I've gone through a plethora of jobs that I don't like.
Yeah.
But that's what I do now. And before we get into what we would do if we could do anything, what are you doing now? And how does it relate to your inner child, your younger self?
My inner child is weeping in the fetal position because
rocking back and forth.
My younger self is literally screaming, crying, and throwing up and like sliding down the wall like, you dumb bitch. You had one job. I work retail.
There's nothing wrong with working retail.
No, there definitely isn't anything wrong with working retail at all. It makes me want to jump into traffic, but I was freelancing as I'm jumping ahead. By the end of high school, I don't want to say I gave up on like the idea of being an actress. My interest just kind of shifted, and I don't remember the definitive moment that I got into makeup, but I would do it, like I would wear.
I remember. You had a friend named Emily who really wanted to be a photographer.
Oh, yeah.
And she asked if you knew how to do makeup because I think when you were in theater, you would do your own makeup. And she was like, well, you know how to do makeup. You want to help me? And you would start going on photo shoots with her to do makeup.
Yes, that absolutely was the segue into it. I just mean like, I don't remember the moment in my head where I was like,
oh, okay. Like that's what you wanted to do.
Yeah, like I guess that's what I meant. Like I don't remember ever like definitively telling myself like this is what I want to do for work. Mm-hmm. But I do remember the moment that after I graduated, I didn't have anything going on because I didn't apply for any colleges or anything. But I would go back and like help out backstage during some of the shows. And there was a moment when a girl, I didn't know her. I didn't know her at all. But I was standing near her and she was doing her makeup for the show. And she was like, does anyone know how to like put eyeliner on? And I'm pretty sure she was using a pencil, not even like a liquid or anything. But I was like, I can do it. So I went and I did her eyeliner. And she turned to me and she was like, that was really good. And
light bulb.
Light bulb.
You just knew right then.
Yeah, I was like, oh, like, I guess I'm kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
And then, to your point, yeah, like my friend Emily, she's an amazing photographer, like since she was young. Like since we were in high school, she's always been very talented with a camera. And she started working with new models for like different agencies, and they would, have her take pictures of these models, and she would, she asked me if I could do makeup, and then like that's where I kind of got into it, decided to go to school for it. And that's what I was doing for a long time. I was freelancing. I had friends that had gone to college to work in film. So that's where I got a lot of my work starting out. And that's what I was doing. And I'm still kind of doing that. Obviously not as much with like everything that's currently going on.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Like I feel like us included, a lot of people are still realizing just how much COVID fucked everything up, because you were working freelance as a makeup artist for a while and had steady work. You know what I mean? Like you were
Yeah.
semi busy, and then you're a freelancer in a lot of ways. Like you're a freelance writer, freelance makeup artist. Like, you know, you're freelance in a lot of ways. And I feel like the pandemic just really threw a wrench into like everyone's plans. Like it threw a wrench into people's plans in a lot of ways. And I feel like I'm fortunate enough that it didn't affect like the graphic design field that much, but it's affected a lot of things. So I feel like that's something also to take into account on your end, you know, that like it fucked up everything, like a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, it did. I mean, I feel like a lot of people might say like, yeah, COVID was terrible in a lot of ways, but I also feel like for me and maybe for other people, it gave people a chance to sit down and do things that they enjoyed, things that they wish they could have done when they didn't have time to sit down. And that was a big thing for me. Like during COVID, yeah, it sucked that like I didn't have a job and I couldn't really go anywhere, but I got to start doing YouTube videos. I got to start making TikToks, and
Oh yeah.
I got to rest. And I feel like during COVID, I was like the least, well, I was depressed because of other things, but I feel like I was the most relaxed that I had been because I had time to write. I had time to, you know, discover my creative capabilities. But yeah, like it sucked that I wasn't working or anything in the same capacity that I would have been if it hadn't happened.
Right.
But yeah, like even after that, like I feel like even after COVID was like dwindling into like, you know, oh, everybody's going to go back outside, whatever. I personally feel like I never recovered. Like I don't think I was ever working in the same capacity that I was after the fact. So it kind of feels like I don't have a career. And that's really sad, but like I'm just not, again, like I technically, sure, I am doing the things that I've dreamed of doing, but like I haven't made any money from it. My life has not changed. I haven't done makeup in the capacity that I wished I could have been doing it. I wrote a book, nothing happened. It sounds so bad, but it's just the truth. This is just my reality. Like there are so many things I want to do that I still want to do, and I'm doing them. But like, unfortunately, right now I have a job that I fucking detest. Okay, like I hate this job. I wish I had never agreed to do this job. I wish I had never agreed to work with the people that I've chosen to work with and work for. Yeah, it's not great. It's not good. I feel like I don't know how anyone enjoys doing what I'm currently doing. But aside from that, like I feel like if I had the opportunity to, you know, freelance on a more consistent capacity, I would do it. You know, I feel like I have the skill. Like I've really honed in on my capabilities as a makeup artist. Even though I'm not acting, I'm not really writing or doing anything else. Like I am very passionate about makeup artistry. I love doing it. But there's just a lot of factors that, you know, it really is an industry of like who you know and who's willing to give you a chance. And I haven't had that. Like I've met a lot of people, you know, I've met a lot of people, I've known a lot of people, but none of that really matters if those people are not going to be like, hey, like, do you want in on this? Or hey, like I know a really good makeup artist, like you should hire her. Like unless someone's willing to take that plunge, like it doesn't really matter how many people you know.
Right.
I have plenty of friends on Instagram, or not friends, but like Instagram friends, followers, whatever, who I've met one time on a set. They're not calling me for jobs. Like,
right.
You know, people think that just because you have contacts that like that guarantees you work. It doesn't. Not always. Sometimes. I recently worked with a woman who I love. She's a animal doctor. She's like an amazing vet, the pet expert, if you will. I met her like nearly 7 years ago or something like that. And we worked together one time, and here we are like 7 years later, and she's like, hey, can you do my makeup? I'm like, yeah. So it's not to say that those connections don't matter. They do. I worked with her. I got a job out of it. You know, we're still connected. And it's amazing that like all these years later, we worked one time together and she's still calling me up. So it's good to have those connections. But I think there's a huge misconception about like the film industry as a whole and like the beauty industry. Like if I'm putting it out there now in the universe, trying to adopt positivity and all that. But like if I made it big in any capacity, whether that be in film, writing, or makeup, whatever, I would like to believe that if I had the connections and the capabilities to do so, I would help whoever I could. If you have, you know, a good personality and the skill to hold your own in the industry, I would help anyone that, you know, needed it. I'm just not there. I'm the one that needs the help, you know? But, you know, I like to believe that, like, if I was able to reach down and pull up, I would every time. So,
right.
Be sorry. I kind of went off a little bit. But, yeah. So.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Such is life.
I mean, damn.
Yeah, but
damn.
I mean, I will say though, I'm very proud of you that like you. I mean, I know I just like completely reamed myself with like how shitty my, you know, current career is, but I'm. It makes me feel good, at least that like with you, you found something that you're really, really good at, something that I think you're pretty passionate about, I'd say, you know, like, and you're doing it. And that's really amazing and impressive.
That's not to say though that, you know, it's been easy on either of us, you know, obviously like, you know, you feel comfortable in this space to open up about what's going on with you, but it's like, you know, it's been a struggle for both of us.
Oh,
like,
most definitely.
You more than anyone has heard all of my horror stories of the jobs I've had. And, you know, when I was in high school, like similar to what you said, you know, like when you're deciding what school you want to go to or giving up on going to schools, like when I was a senior, I had made the executive decision that I was taking a year off. And like, I wasn't going to go to school, wasn't going to go to a community school or a community college. And my teachers, or not my teachers, my counselor was very, very discouraging and very mean to me. And she was like, everyone that says they're going to take a year off never goes back to school. And everyone who goes to art school doesn't do anything with their life. And she was like, I wanted to be a ballerina. And look at me now. And I'm like, yeah, look at you now. You're fucking miserable counseling high school kids and shitting on their dreams. That's horrible. So
maybe you just weren't a very good ballerina.
Maybe. Hey, maybe. And I took the year off. I went to a bunch of art schools. I found the one I wanted to go to. Shout out FITM.
Yes.
You're expensive as fuck, but I graduated. And I made the decision that I was going to undertake these student loans and this debt because this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And luckily, you know, I got work right out of college, but it's been a fucking struggle and a half to find a job that not only pays me enough. I mean, nothing is enough these days because everything's fucking expensive. But like, I've been lucky to find a job that pays me enough-ish and, you know, I enjoy.
Yeah.
But everything you said about the misconceptions of, you know, the the entertainment industry can apply to the beauty industry too,
Totally.
which you even said. You said the beauty industry, but like it's all who you know, and it's such a small industry that like the people I work with have worked at the other places I worked at, or they knew someone that worked here, and here, or whatever. So it's like, or they left this company to go there that I had worked. So it's a whole thing. We have a whole episode of dedicated to just the beauty industry, but it's been a roller coaster for both of us. And like, there's been many a night where I'm like, do I even want to do this? Is this something that I even want to do? But, you know, luckily I do enjoy what I do, but it is interesting looking back at what we both wanted to do and kind of seeing the threads that have remained, the things that we grew out of, and the things that we're kind of full circling going back to, where it's like, oh, maybe I do want to like get back into that or something. I mean, the fashion designer thing, we both have sewing machines now, and we're whipping up shit and making things. So it's like, we still write. You have a whole notebook, many a notebook full of ideas. I have things that I write on the side. We have this podcast now. So it's like, we have different outlets for things, which is interesting to see where these threads kind of started and where they're manifesting now. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Completely. It feels like just time just goes and goes, where you're like, okay, like it almost feels like sometimes like, oh, you don't have time to like zero in on those things that you wanted to do. And it's like, it's so sad because these are things that we thought would be like our like defining careers, or things that we really thought, you know, we would do. And, you know, time happens, life happens, you know, we make choices, we make good choices, we make bad choices. I've made some pretty poor choices. I cannot deny. Okay, I've made some pretty poor choices. But I'm trying now. Like I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do what I can. I'm going to esthetician school, which like,
that's great.
I don't give a fuck about being an esthetician. I'm not going to lie. I really don't care.
Why did you pick going to esthetician school?
Because I need a license to do other things. Like I can only do so much as like a certified makeup artist. You know what I mean? Like, I can't really do a lot. I mean, I could freelance. I can keep freelancing. I can put eyeshadow on people, you know?
Yeah.
But if I want to do anything in an official capacity, like I have to be considered an expert.
Okay.
You know, like officially.
Yeah.
Like if I want to open my own thing, I have to have a license.
Okay.
So yeah, like not to say that I don't care. I do care, but I just don't, like it's not my like if I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't. But I'm enjoying, you know, my studies as an esthetician. I'm learning a lot, which is great. Like, of course, like as a makeup artist, you would want to know as much as you can about skin type, whatever. So I'm glad to be in a learning environment where I am learning how to do all that. I feel like I have a purpose now. That's so sad. But
no,
I
it's
do.
Not sad. Not everything is a bad thing. That's a good thing.
Like I feel like I have a purpose right now. You know, I have to get up every day and do it, and it's been great. It's been really fun. I love my teachers. I'm having a good time. So with that, I'm, telling myself, like, who knows, what could happen later on. I'm dipping into different avenues,
Yeah, I feel like that's where we kind of both are. Like, personally, I've discovered that I don't do well working from home in a majority of majority of the time is what I'm trying to say. So now that I have a job that I have to be at 4 days a week, it requires me to get up early, put some effort into how I look, be on the road early enough to make it in time. Like, it's done a lot for my mental health and also just like the way I feel. Cause same, like, feel like I have a purpose, feel like I have somewhere to be, and I need to be presentable. Like when I worked from home, I was the person in my pajamas working in my bed, and that's not healthy or good or anything. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that we both have that now, because I feel like, not to segue too quickly into our last point, but like it kind of gives us both a neutral ground to think about the future and to think like about what we're doing and what we want to do, what else we could be doing. So I feel like it's a transitional phase.
Oh, totally.
But a good phase.
Yeah.
A good place to be.
Oh, totally. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like it happened at the right time, maybe, or I mean, as good of a time as any. Like there was no sense in, putting it off, for me anyway, like what I'm doing, like putting it off I don't think it would have mattered or changed anything. So I'm glad that I am doing it and like, getting out of the way. It's going to be a long 8.5 months of me doing this.
Yeah.
And nothing else because I understand now, like school, it's such not a small thing, but like it's such a thing of like I'm doing it at night, and even still I feel like I cannot do anything.
Yeah.
Like it has really changed my schedule. Like I don't have time to do anything because I know that I have to make sure that I get to where I need to be when I need to be there. So this is like my socializing at the moment, like because I certainly don't have my weekends anymore even. So
I feel like our schedules are opposite because I'm, I have a full-time job. So it's like, this is my socializing. And it's like, I get home 6:30, 7 o'clock. I need to eat, shower, sleep, and get up and do it again the next day. So like, this is my socializing. But I feel like that's kind of a good thing. I feel like it's good for us to like put our heads down and get together to maximize our joint slay.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm totally fine.
We got to get back in. We're back in.
We are back in.
We are back in.
And I've accepted that. Like, I've completely accepted that, like, for the rest of the year and a little bit of next year, like, I'm out for the count, like that's fine. Like I want to be able, my priority is making sure I can get to school and get home and get here. But this is like pretty much going to school. Right. So it
works out. It all works out.
It all works out. But yeah, like despite, every horrific thing that I've been dealing with, like in my own head, I do feel good about the fact that I am going to school and, trying to do, like when I have the time to do what I want to do, I try to do it.
Yeah. Like we have this and then, maybe it's not in the exact capacity, but like you have an outlet to do like the things you like in entertainment. Like you're making your TikToks. YouTube has, kind of unfortunately died, it feels. So it's like maybe you're not focusing on YouTube, but like you do a ton of TikToks, you make content, you explore writing, you explore this. We're now doing our podcast. Like it's cool to have the space and time to work on those things.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And again, totally grateful for it. Like things could be better, but they could also be worse. So
and that's all you gotta think about,
We're in we're in the middle ground of like just trying to survive.
Exactly.
Like we're trying to survive, and I don't think my dreams have died necessarily.
No.
They've certainly slowed, but yeah, like I'm technically a writer, technically a makeup artist, and that's
and a podcaster
and a new podcaster. So, who's to say what will happen? I'm kind of just going with the flow.
See,
now,
but that's a good thing. I feel like just going with the flow helps you get to where you want to go. Hey, that rhymed. I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
New merch.
New merch. But like, I don't know. I feel like to that point too, like to end on a very positive note, if you could be anything, forget the last 20 years of like career ideation. If you could do anything or be anything, what would you be? Because I have my answer.
Oh, I'm excited for your answer. My answer is a little off the wall because there's a lot. Not a lot, but like there's so many things. But
what's the one thing?
The one thing, I told my first therapist this. If there was no limitation, like if I was like, if I could actually be anything, I would be a pop star. Like I would be.
Shut up. I was gonna say I'd be a rock star.
Girl,
that was what I would be.
Literally, I would be the next Ariana Grande. Like we're both small, we both love a high ponytail. I would be Ariana 2.0.
Period.
That would be me. Like I'm not even shitting you. Like I feel like I would do so well as like a performer.
But
like,
see, this is the thing. If you could be anything, a pop star makes sense for you. You can dance. You still have some gymnastic capabilities. You can sing. You have the stage presence, the charisma, blah, blah, blah. Me, on the other hand, if I could, emphasis on could, be anything, it would be a rock star. I can't sing. I don't have musical talent. I love music, but I can't play an instrument. Harm has been painstakingly showing me how to play the bass, and I can't.
Don't say you can't. You've only done it like a couple of times.
Okay, but also, I used to take guitar lessons, and I went every week for like 6 months or something. Didn't learn shit.
Really?
Because I couldn't. I just couldn't. Like, I couldn't remember it. It didn't stick with me. And I would practice when I went home. It's just not for me. I'm not a musical person. But if I could be anything, I'd be in a band. I'd be a rock star. And I would shred the bass.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would do.
That's... I mean...
Talk about getting together to maximize your joint slay.
No, literally. You and I in a band together, the world would not be ready. Our aesthetics are so different. It would be so like...
It would be very odd, but appealing.
Yeah, like it'd be eye-catching as fuck, I think. I think that would be awesome. I mean, who am I to tell you what you can or can't do? But when... I feel like with enough practice, I think you could do it. But that's just me. Like, if you could,
we'll see.
Yeah, we will.
I'll just leave it to Harm. I just let Harm be the musical genius, and I stand in the back like, yeah, go.
But Harm only has 2 arms. Okay, Harm's singing. Harm's doing everything. You got to do something. Harm's doing 5 things.
I'll be in the back, just like. Go!
Yeah.
Woo!
Go team!
Good job!
Yeah.
But that's so... The minute you said pop star, I was like, shut the fuck up. Because that's what I mean, not a pop star, but you know.
But,
like, imagine a like... Do you know Pale Waves?
Yeah.
Her.
Yeah.
Like Heather...
Whatever.
Gracie something. Heather... Whatever her name.
Yeah.
Her. That little bitch.
Yeah.
That little British bitch.
Yeah.
That'd be me.
No, I see that. I would for sure.
Sail the skies.
You would sail the skies. I want that for us so bad. I think
Bratz Rock Angels in real life.
That's exactly it.
Also, take a shot every time we mention Bratz Rock Angels. Y'all would be on your ass because we've mentioned it, I think, once an episode already.
Probably.
I think so.
It's relevant.
And they stay relevant. And the girls are gagged to this day.
Every time.
And they're going to slay every time.
Survey says it's a sleigh with Bratz Rock Angels.
Put Bratz Rock Angels on the board. There it is. Period.
Oh my God. But yeah, like I would that would be like my thing. If I could, I would totally be a miniature Dua Lipa or something. I feel like I could. Yeah. I feel like I could do that. Like I
feel like you could do a Dua Lipa for sure. Like Ariana Grande, I feel so controversial opinion. I think Ariana Grande. She kind of mid. She just all right. Her vocals are amazing, but the package,
Oh,
the girlies are going to be fighting in the comments.
They're going to be fighting every episode for this, but wow, okay.
And I said what I said.
Fine. That's fine by me.
But a Dua Lipa, she's soulful, I guess.
Like I love her voice. Like,
her voice is chef's kiss.
First time I ever heard Dua Lipa's voice was when I saw her music video for her song Hotter Than Hell.
Oh, I've never heard that song.
Or no, just kidding. It wasn't that. It was Last Dance.
Oh, okay.
If you've heard that one.
I feel like I have.
We have to listen to it.
I hate to say it, but I think all of Dua Lipa's songs have the word dance in the title or like in the chorus. So I'm like, maybe I've heard that one.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, it's the first time I heard her song Last Dance, I was like, what the fuck is this brunette bitch? She's amazing. I was obsessed.
Who's this brunette bitch that can't dance?
Literally cannot dance. I was like, is that Phoebe?
Maybe that's why I like her.
Yeah.
Because I see myself in her.
Literally.
But she's been working it. She's been working her little ass off.
She's been doing her best.
In her dance classes. And her beginning ballet and tap dance class.
I really don't think it's fair to like put that on. Not everybody can dance. You guys
can't.
Like
stop trying to make the bitches dance.
Right, leave these little bitches alone. They can't dance.
Especially the British bitches. Leave them alone.
Leave the British bitches alone. They cannot dance. It's okay.
Haven't they gone through enough?
Haven't the Dua Lipas of the world suffered enough?
The real marginalized people, they're not the gays, they're not the people of color, it's Dua Lipa.
Literally. Justice for Dua Lipa.
And that's a movement I can get behind.
Literally.
I'll get the bumper stipper for that.
I'll make the t-shirt.
I'll get the bumper stipper for that.
Not the bumper stipper.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I feel like I can write a good song. I can do a little move.
You can do a little dance.
I can do a little dance. If I could afford to take a vocal class, because like I can do a little something, but like if I could actually like pay to like go get professional singing lessons, oh bitch,
it'd be over.
I would be sailing the skies.
See, I can fuck up a song on Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
I could beat anyone at Guitar Hero, and I could play the air bass like there's no tomorrow. But nothing will make me be able to sing or come up with my own songs or write my own songs. Like that ain't happening.
I beg to differ.
We used to write some bangers back in the day. I call me.
I was just about to say that.
That's a deep cut that I don't think we have time for. That'll be for another day.
We'll save that. We'll save that story for another time.
We can do a whole episode on the adventures of Chelsea. Like
the adventures of us.
Talk about formative years. Like, everything involving Chelsea.
We're gonna tell the story another time.
Oh yeah, that's for another time.
It's for another day. But yes, that, and I would definitely, if I could be anything, I'd be a stripper. Hear me out.
Period.
I don't have the body. I have metal rods in my back, so I definitely can't work a pole.
But you have the charisma.
I have the charisma. I feel like I could survive a strip club if I had the titties.
Period.
You guys don't understand. That was my dream job for a while. I mean, I know it's a dangerous profession. Like, I'm not naive. Speaking realistically, if I could, I would.
That's a good choice.
I'm not.
I respect it.
I'm not bullshitting, you know, like I would do it.
If you're in the strip/sex work industry, give her some tips.
Give me some pointers but yeah, that or crime scene cleanup.
Oh, okay. That's fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I think
I've seen it. It's
yeah. I could see you doing that. Besides Rockstar, I think I would do tarot card readings on the Santa Monica Pier. Just like tourists come by and I'll just like do some tarot card readings for them. But I'll be really vague, where I'm like, I see something in your future, but I don't know. And then like they'll just have to keep paying me
and keep
Yeah.
giving like giving things away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a dog? Cat?
Yeah. I think I would do that. It'd be a rock star, be a tarot card reader on the beach, and then honestly, I just want to do nothing. If I could have it my way, I would just be a Serena van der Woodsen. I would just be born into a family with money and have every whim and idea that pops into my head, everything that gets a fucking hair up my ass. I'd have money to support it. And then by the end of the fucking mid-season arc, I'd be over it and do something else. And look fabulous doing it. That's what I wish I could do more than anything. My job is no job. That's my dream job, no job.
Yeah. That's yeah.
Yeah. Hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah.
Or a Carrie Bradshaw. Like just, I could see you being a Carrie Bradshaw. Sit in your... They try to make her seem like she's struggling. She's living in a beautiful studio apartment with a walk-in closet, and she writes her little column once a week.
Yeah.
And then goes out for drinks and food with the girlies. I could see that being your dream job.
That is my dream job. Like that, what I just said is still absolutely true. But ultimately, my dream of dreams is to live either in a nice apartment or a house, whatever's easier. And I would write my silly little stories, my little mystery books or fiction books, and I would go on an occasional book tour, and then I would spend the rest of my time at home. That's ultimately what I wish I could do. I want to just write books and be at home.
Yeah.
And do whatever the fuck I want to do. That's it. Like, if I want to like explore my creativities or explore like, I would sit at home and like, you know, film little song covers or, you know, I would just do that at home, but I would just write and never leave my house. That's the dream, you know.
I know.
I don't want to do anything, but I have to do something. So I'm like, well, if I had to do something,
that's what
I would do, because I have to do something. But if I didn't have to do anything, I wouldn't.
See, and I think that's the perfect note to end on, and also the perfect thread throughout this whole episode, which is like, excuse me, turn off. Sorry, my flashlight was on. I think that's the perfect thread that's been throughout this whole episode, because there's things we've wanted to do, there's things that we do, and there's things we wish we could do, but ultimately we don't want to do anything. We just want to chill and be cute girls with our cute little coffee beverages or a Cosmo from time to time and do nothing.
I so want that for us.
We need that.
we really need that. We've been needing that. If you guys knew what our lives were like.
My job is hot girl.
Hot girl.
And you are so good at hot girl.
Yeah.
You are so good at beach.
I just want to be good at beach.
Thank you, Barbie. And what a good job you do at being a hot girl.
Yeah. I don't think I've reached hot girl status by any means yet, but...
Maybe that's what they mean by 30, flirty, and thriving. Because we're getting there. Maybe we'll wake up 30 and like our whole lives will just have shifted.
Well, I have to hope that that's the case.
We have to do our manifestation cocktail hours and just start doing that.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that today. I was like... This is a total side note and has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about. But I was thinking about that today. I was like, you know, because you had me recently made a post about how like, you know, maybe this is why my life is going the way it is, because I haven't done any like magical stuff in like months or whatever. And I was like, you know what? For me, it's been longer than that. I haven't done any magical anything. Because I was like,
you should. It's so, even if you don't see immediate results, it just makes you feel like a routine. You know what I mean? Like it's a part of your routine, and that makes you feel better.
Yeah. And like, it's funny that you say it's not immediate, but like I was thinking about the last time I really manifested something, because I've been telling myself, I'm like, I'm not really good at manifesting anything. Like everything I've manifested like hasn't happened. Except for one time that I can really think that I really manifested something.
And what was that?
And it went horribly
What
wrong.
was it?
I wanted, this was years ago. I was talking to...
Redacted name. Okay.
And I was stupid and I was young and I was like, I want to... And I was like, let me see if I can make this person come back to me and maybe he'll date me again. I was young and I didn't know any better, but I was like, maybe like he'll come back and he'll want to date me and like whatever. So I wrote down this, I don't even want to call it a spell per se, but like I wrote down this little manifestation and I think
a chant, if you will.
Yeah, like a little something. And I wrote it in like red ink and like I wrote this whole thing. I had like rose quartz and like we had went to that place we used to go to all the time to get all our herbs, pan pipes. So we went there. I had got some sort of love oil or something, some sort of oil. I had a bunch of stuff and I had an item of his and I literally sat and I did it. I felt it. Like I really believed it. I felt it. I did it. And he came back and then we, why am I like not saying the word? We fucked.
For the children's.
Fuck them kids. This is not for kids.
Period.
It's not for parents. Leave me alone.
It's for the girlies.
It's for the girls. So yeah.
You need to put that energy into getting a bag.
No, I know. No.
Period.
This is why it's funny.
Yes.
I did all of that expecting to find like a boyfriend or like romance. And no, like I was too specific. And then later on, I had showed my friend what I wrote. And she was like, girl, this has nothing to do with like love or romance or anything. This is all about sex. And I was like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought I was talking about love or romance. And she's like, no. And I was like, I did that. I did it too specifically. And I did
you got what you wanted,
yeah,
but you didn't
not in the right way at all. But that's so crazy, right? Like, I was like, it worked. I did that, but you gotta be careful.
You do. I think we can do a whole other episode on that, but we need to focus our energy on getting a bag and sailing the skies so we could ultimately be hot girls that do nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's all we're authorized to say.
That's all we're authorized to say. We will get to a point. The next time you see us, we will be a couple of hot girls doing nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to happen in a week. In a week's time, we will be hot girls doing nothing.
It's going to happen. Yep. It's happening.
Yep.
I believe it.
Well, this was a slightly more serious episode, but we kept the fun and lightheartedness and the panache and the zhuzh that we bring to any topic.
I think it was necessary. I think it was very real. I think
we're letting you guys know what late 20s life looks like.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster. It's not to say that like this wasn't meant to like bring anybody down or bring us down or anything. Like it's just to show like you can still have dreams. Like
if anything, I feel a fire lit under both of our asses to get like, this podcast and all other hopes and dreams off the ground.
If anything, I think with this conversation is we've showed that like in a way we did manifest our dreams in a way. Like it goes to my point of what I just said. In a way I did manifest my childhood dreams, just not in the way that I, imagined it, but in time. Yeah. In time.
Maybe, okay, before we go, homework. Both of us have to do some type of manifestation tonight. I think, what day is today? Oh, it was yesterday. It's still, whatever. There was a new moon yesterday. We could still do it today. We'll keep the same energy. Anyways, we have to manifest something specific for this week and see if it happens. And we will report back next Friday and see if it worked. Okay. That's our homework for today.
We're going to manifest something
specific.
Something specific.
Yeah. Well, undisclosed right now, but we'll figure it out. And then next Friday we can discuss.
All right. Well, we don't want to
make this too long.
So we'll catch us next week. on our next episode. It'll be a surprise, I guess, because I have no idea what we're going to
we don't know yet. We'll
figure it out.
We're going to reconvene offline.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Harm with the ideas. Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about, because we are burning through our ideas and we want to know what the girlies want to hear.
Yeah. Controversial take or otherwise.
I mean, we're made of hot takes.
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know. And hopefully you enjoyed this episode and our previous episode. You can follow me on all social platforms as Keiara, KEI_ARAA. And you.
And you can find me on all social media platforms at Revolting Youth with zeros for O's. You could follow our Instagram at I Don't Want to Make This Too Long Pod. And our TikTok, officially, we figured it out. It's at 2.long.podcast. And we're going to start posting there.
Yeah.
And yeah. And let us know in the comments what your dream job was also, because I really would want to know.
Yeah, me too. I think that'd be a fun little read to see what our audience does. But yeah, we will.
Is that all of our?
I think so. That's all of our business that we have to talk about. So, love you, besties.
Love you, besties.
Bye.
Okay, bye.